All right, welcome on in, everyone, to another late night stream of Memnon Troy. Welcome on into everyone who is already here. Thanks so much for stopping by. I see that Yes is in the chat. Hey, thanks for stopping by there, bud. Yes, so for any who did not see the last episode, for you are not really quite sure how Troy works, it's very similar to the other Total War Warhammer. You have your... I'll swing on back over here to Memnon. We'll do this while we're kind of waiting on those to trickle on into said stream. Basically, you have your lords, just as you do with any others, and you've got all of your different soldiers there. So we've got our Ethiopian tribesmen, which are kind of our run-of-the-mill, cheap and cheerful sword and board guys there. They've got clubs instead of swords, though, so they're pretty decent at fighting. And they are also going to be vanguard deployed, so they're good at pretty much deploying wherever you want them to be, and they can be up in the enemy's face very soon. Also, I got some spearmen there, so in this game you've got kind of your light, each infantry has its weight class, because this is mostly an infantry-based game. If you have the mythos version, which I do not, you have more kind of large and mythological style creatures, but otherwise it is very light on the cavalry, and there are some chariots. But yep, you've got your three kind of weapon weight classes there, and they can fight differently depending. So light units are very fast. They use stamina less frequently, and they have less penalties while moving around on different terrains. They are also kind of weak in combat because they usually have really low armor. Medium is kind of just your next step up, although our medium here infantry... Oh, these guys are light, never mind. Well, do we have any medium infantry here? Most of Ethiopia is light infantry. Yeah, we are currently not fielding any medium, but I think Memnon... No, get out of here. Inside his character menu here, we are playing on, instead of, there's a version that makes your heroes similar to Warhammer, where it's a single entity hero that runs around and is an absolute monster in combat. We're playing on the historical version, which makes all of your units more in line with a historical game mode, and your hero is but one unit in a series of bodyguard units. So at current, we have got the Medjai Warriors as our bodyguard unit. They're also a light infantry. They're very good. They've got armor piercing, and they actually have an anti-hero, so fighting against other hero units, they actually have a bonus. Hey, techie. Keep it PG though, bud. I know you are, but just for the sake. I am happy to see you on in though. Glad to see you made it. Yeah, no, there's a lot. It's really infantry focused, so it's really focused on placing those heavy infantry in the center, letting them soak up a lot of damage, and it's kind of focused on flanking and more stuff like that. The archers are still very good, but they also are very easy to rout off, so I am also kind of learning this one. I haven't had a lot of time to play, so we'll be learning it together. I've got a bit of time. Most of what I have played is either on Rhesus or Memnon or Achilles. Anyway, we were looking at the different warriors. I know I had one of our units here that was a medium infantry here, so... But never mind, even these guys are light. What's going on here? Is it the entire army's light infantry? We have a single skill point to use, and I was waiting to go ahead and use it until this next stream here. I was going to initially... We had the last stream kind of crashed in OBS during the Battle of Knossos here. We did win the battle, but the stream crashed in the middle of it, and I didn't notice it until it was far too late to do anything about salvaging it, so decided to let that one go. It was also very late. But basically, we won the Battle of Knossos, and after that did happen, I'm going to get all mixed up here, but as long as you all keep me on track, we should be good. It was the events. Where's that at? Event tab. So after we completed the Battle of Knossos and won there, we get the epic mission successful. And I'll actually go ahead and read this one. So we have to raise Knossos in the Ida province. Recalling the oath to his ancestors, Memnon leapt into the fray, answering Priam's rallying call. And actually, I'm losing my voice, so give me a moment, I'm going to grab some water.
King of Ethiopia.
Alright, can't be losing our voice this early on into it. So, answering Priam's rallying cry. Your great host grows by the but if you were to reach the Troad and render aid to the great house of Priam, you will need to make your way through Crete. In Knossos, the perdiferous king Idomeneus guards the Spartan ruler Menelaus' rear, blocking you from reaching your destination. It is time to teach the Cretians the folly of standing against the mighty Memnon, and we have already kind of done so. They have a couple cities left. We're getting a little bit of bugginess there, but they've got 2 cities left down here with Gortys and Phaistos, but we should be able to rout those in short order. They have some pretty sizable soldiers, but I think those were mostly coming out of Knossos, and now that we have that conquered, I think we're pretty much home free. We had another hero before as well. I decided to go ahead and kick him on out, since Memnon has a special ability there where he actually cannot do any reinforcing, so all of his fights have to be by himself. So having an extra hero at this moment in time where we don't have a lot of income coming in, which we won't really for the most part of the campaign anyway, but I would like to spend all of our gold and food and everything that we do have, all of our resources, on Memnon himself. So that guy got removed. So anyway, after completing that one, we had the Notion secrets, which would give us a 100% increase to our administration efficiency, which is your research for this one, royal decrees. And then 2,000 experience to all of our heroes, which great for Memnon. And the other hero who got launched into the sea as soon as we could. Afterwards, we had the dilemma pop up. What homeland do we safeguard, Lord of the Ethiops? By raising ancient cities on remote shores? As the great murals of Knossos blacken from the fires, an old bow-legged mariner from Memphis approaches and clears his throat. O Memnon, what home have we defended by laying waste to this faraway capital? What dangers do these noble columns, now bent with damage, once pose to the lands of the Sun King? Men turn to you, their dark eyes askance. And then we could either vow aid to Troy or vow to secure Aethiopia, and they would both give us different things. The Ethiopia one would give us extra weapon damage for the hero, battle speed, and melee defense, which is good for just a single your unit there. Or we would vow aid to Troy, and either one does give you a different quest chain. We have vowed aid to Troy because we are going to uphold our vows to our cousins there. At least we're going to do our best. If we run into Achilles again, we may have a really bad time. But in doing so, we get kin of the great princes. By our decree, the Achaeans shall no longer threaten the Trojan shore through Grecian waters. And that'll give us extra diplomatic relations with the Pelagicians. Oh, I'm going to butcher so many pronunciations here. And then +5 to gold income per turn faction-wide. And we gained ourselves another mission issued as soon as that one did complete there, which is to move any character to Etus, which is over here in Sparta. The Ethiop king's host poured into the Spartan shore, vowing to bring peace by word or spear. Only a fool would launch a costly war over a personal matter. Yet this is exactly what the Spartan Menelaus has done, by disputing Paris' rightful claim to Helen. Rightful. Unworthy though he is, he remains a king, and before blood is shed on the beaches of Lycabetton, calm diplomacy should have its day. It is time to meet the Lord of Sparta. You just have to ride on over here and meet with Menelaus before we start breaking all of his cities. But as previously stated, this is very much like Total War Warhammer, where we have our really difference being that really that these are mostly infantry, and there is no magic per se. In the other version of the game, the heroes have some kind of different abilities they can use that are very similar to magic, without all of the different FX and things. So in this we have Terrify and such, so we just kind of scare guys off like you have Fear, or I guess Terrify would be the other one. And such like that. Different healing arts and things too, so I'm trying to find other abilities that you can kind of have that are active abilities. You have basically active abilities instead of magic. No magic, just active abilities. And if you have Mythos, which I do not, you have access to some of the mythological creatures such as like a Cerberus and Harpies and such. Yeah, Achilles can kill thousands by himself. He is an absolute monster. Memnon in the other version is actually almost identical to him in terms of combat stats. He is known as a warrior almost identical in stature to Achilles, just not quite invincible, so he lost the fight. Yeah, we're going to put all our money on Memnon for now, at least. But the thing is, right, we can't reinforce with other armies, so if we just kind of plop one out, we have to pay upkeep for them, and then we can, I guess go hide them somewhere, which sounds kind of boring. For now, we're going to just roll with Memnon. be super aggressive, and if we lose the game, we lose in a single battle, right? Unlike Warhammer, though, you don't just have gold as your income, and I guess the different kind of specialized incomes you gain, but you have food, which is going to be used to train and support your units. And it's gathered in farms, or since we are a horde, it's gained by destroying everything. We actually don't ever have a settlement. This is very much like the Torox campaign. And I actually don't know which came first, this or Torox, but I know one of them definitely influenced the other one. Without a doubt. So you have your different horde buildings that you build up. Hero's Retinue all the way up to a Hero's Pavilion. Gives you access to extra territories in Egypt and Memphis, so we do not actually do any kind of recruitment through normal means. It's all through special recruitment, and you click them in kind of similar to the Warriors of Chaos now, where you have the Warband with the immediate recruitment. Same kind of thing. If we had extra, well, we do have actually plenty of extra. What happened to my I'm kind of confused. What happened to my lads? Did they like automatically merge up? I definitely didn't tell them to do that, but maybe they did when I wasn't paying attention. I had a whole bunch of Ethiopian tribesmen, and now I don't. That's definitely what happened. We'll have to go ahead and call some more in from Pharaoh. Yeah, time to aim for the heels. We already know his secret, though. Only we could tell Memnon. We're gonna move Memnon on down and then put him into encampment. Prepare ourselves for the next battle there. Most of our buildings do actually build in one turn. We are going to go ahead and throw in the Pharaoh's statue tier 2 here, which will give us extra morale for all of our Egyptian units, more capacity for Egyptian slingers and the Pharaoh infantry, and then more battle speed, which is I believe it's both how fast they move and how fast they swing, how often they attack, with units that switch attacks. So like there will be units. That's one of the other special things about this game. So these guys here, these are the Pharaoh infantry. They start as a spear and shield infantry. And in the middle of the battle, you can click their activated ability there, and they switch to having a two-handed spear. So it gives them a lot more armor piercing and stuff like that. But they do put their shield away. They get better at fighting, they put the shield away, and they get some armor piercing. So it's kind of an interesting switch there. Yeah, there they go. Take out their two-handed axe. I thought they just used their spear with two hands. That's even better. How does the tier system work? I guess, what do you mean, like the light, medium, heavy? Or what do you mean there, Tiki? Yeah, glitches in any kind of Total War. All of the sagas and the historical ones tend to happen, but we won't worry about it. We'll play on through no matter what here. And I chose Memnon because he is kind of the most unique and most interesting of all of the campaigns. Between him and Rhesus. Rhesus is up in Thrace, in the north here, and his campaign is kind of all about, while Memnon's is just about destroying everything in sight and calling in extra soldiers from Pharaoh. Oh, I see. So like in Total War, you get the tiers. I am still kind of learning the tiers. It appears, so we started off with these three, like I was getting to where how you recruit units here for Memnon. Memnon's is different than anyone else. He doesn't recruit anyone from Greece at all. They all come from Egypt and the different vassal states thereof Egypt. So he is from Ethiopia, which is just one of the vassal states of Egypt at this point in time. And so Pharaoh sends reinforcements from Egypt and Canaan and Susa to help him on out in his battles. So as coming from Ethiopia, I'd say the first tier soldiers are probably these Napatans. They've just got your kind of very early tier club infantry. Got very low armor. Vanguard deployment, though, which is very, very powerful. You got your Javelin, your Ethiopian Hunters. Kind of see the stats on these guys aren't incredible. They've got a lot of melee attack, not much defense, and a lot of damage, too. They're all about charging in there and doing a bunch of damage, but they don't really defend themselves all that much. These Javelins have pretty good range at 110. And then you'll have your Ethiopian Spearmen, which your two-handed spears are going to be very good at taking down large units, same as in Warhammer. Some of them are, they'll also have a armor piercing as well as a bonus versus heroes on occasion. It'll just depend on the spearmen, and we'll be able to see all of that when it happens. But all of the guys from Napata, most of the Ethiopian units will have Vanguard deployment, which makes them very, very good in most battles, actually. Are there any Viking warlords? That's kind of what Rhesus is, the most Viking-esque of all of the lords. There are no Viking warlords, though, because this is in Greece during the Trojan War. Now, Memnon is not necessarily Orion. He is more Torox, because he's just here to destroy absolutely everything for Egypt. Basically, he pleaded to Pharaoh, since he is not actually the king. He is a king of a vassal state. He pleaded to Pharaoh and asked him, "Hey, my cousins, because Paris and Hector are very distant relations of Memnon." So he asked the Pharaoh if he could come on up and help out in the Trojan War. And Pharaoh basically said, "Yeah, you absolutely can, but only if you bring back slaves and loot back to Egypt." And Memnon was like, "All right, sounds good." And they rolled out. Problem was, when he got there, I'm very much simplifying this, so if anyone knows the true story, feel free to fill in all the gaps. But when he got there, he and his soldiers basically had a one-on-one honorable fight with Achilles, and he lost. And when he did lose, his soldiers just basically said, "Nah, we're going to pack up and go home. Not worth it." And they left. There were probably many reasons as to why they left, but after Memnon was slain, they decided no, that it wasn't something that they wanted to be a part of anymore, and they went home. Probably actually saving the Achaeans from losing that war entirely. That was a lot of reinforcements. Oh, no problem. Yes, I appreciate you coming on in. And this will also be up live for later for anyone who does not make it in for this this initial one here, so no problem at all. Yeah, it started because basically, I mean, there's a whole sorts of different stories and different versions of the Iliad, but my favorite is that basically Paris was kind of out wandering around, and the three goddesses, Hera, Aphrodite, and I believe it was Athena, all were trying to argue over who was the most beautiful. And because the other gods didn't really want to get involved in that argument, they basically gave these apples to Paris, this golden apple, and said, "Hey, Paris, you pick. We don't want to do it. Because no matter which one we pick, we're going to get karate chopped by the other two." Paris, being kind of dumb, and he's a normal human. Plus, he's not going to tell them no either, because they're gods, and telling the gods no in Greek history gets you turned into a frog. But usually a frog with, like, leprosy, so you really don't want to do it. I'm getting off topic. So basically, Paris was given the choice. You had to choose between Aphrodite, Athena, and Hera, which is the most beautiful. And all of them, basically, because he couldn't choose, they offered him gifts. Hera offered him, I cannot remember. Aphrodite offered him Helen, of course, and then Athena offered him battle wisdom and the ability to win all those battles. Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, pretty much, yes. That's pretty much exactly how it worked. Helen was the most beautiful woman in Greece. And so everyone decided to throw down. Odysseus basically made all of the people on the Achaean side of the war sign an agreement where if something happened to Helen, they would all go to war with whoever did it, which is a little bit interesting. It's an interesting agreement to make everyone sign, but he also decided he wasn't going to agree with that, or roll with that agreement as soon as the war started. He tried to hide, act like he was crazy. Yeah, he definitely was prophesied to bring down Troy, but what happened initially is he had to choose between the three goddesses, and he chose Aphrodite, which made both the other two very angry. But since he got Helen out of the deal, Helen was obviously taken by Menelaus, and so making Sparta mad in history tends to go very well for the country that does it, correct? So, yeah, no, they rolled out as hard as they could and kicked the brakes off of Troy. It just took 9 years. They burned everything to the ground, took Helen back, and it still burned everything to the ground. Yeah, I think Hera's was conquest, you're right. Aphrodite's gift was to get Helen. I would have gone for, I mean, no matter what, you're gonna lose. But if you choose Athena, it's going to be at least something that has to do with wisdom, so you'll win in the long run. Always go with Athena. Although Hera is very good at exploding you randomly, so you avoid making any of them mad. We've gotten a little bit off topic. We're going to sit here and talk about the history of the Trojan War. So the tier of units we have here is Napata and Sai, I think, for the first tier. Napata being your very lightly infantry, your very light Ethiopian infantry, but very, very good because they've got Vanguard. And then your infantry from Sai being up in Egypt. These guys are going to usually be a little bit more heavily armored, but they don't have access to that Vanguard deploy. Their trade-off being that most Egyptian warriors have the ability to kind of switch those weapons, so they can switch from the shields to a two-handed weapon, or something kind of different. They all have, a lot of them rather, have the ability to switch weapons. That'll also be where you get your first slingers from. And slingers are kind of your very first tier archer unit. You get archers later on, and these guys are very, very good at anti-archer capabilities, actually. They're not so great at bringing down actual shielded warriors, but firing on very lightly armored slingers and skirmishers is kind of their job. Yeah, no, Greek tragedies have that label always for a reason. I would say your second tier soldiers are going to be coming from Kerma, because these guys have a little bit more armor even than the Napatans. They usually have a little bit more morale. So these guys have about 40. Across the board, roughly, there's about 50 and 60 on this second tier of troops here. This will also be where you get your first archers, which you'll notice have quite a bit less range than the slingers. That allows your slingers to actually kind of outrange and pepper down archers before, at least early tier archers, before they can do much damage. Archers are very, very good at taking down, obviously, other archers themselves and just normal infantry. They're much better at it than slingers for sure. They've actually got a bit of armor piercing on those arrows as opposed to rocks hitting you in the head, which will hurt, obviously, but if it clinks off a helmet, it doesn't hurt nearly as bad. Yep, so the Ethiopian javelin also are going to have a little bit less range. I didn't also notice that just now, I think. Yeah, I think I did just notice that. So they've got 75 range as opposed to the 110 of the lightly armored Napatan. But again, they have a shield, and they've got quite a bit more damage. So they can actually absorb some damage in return, and they have Leader's Will, which is an ability that kind of allows them to almost become unbreakable for a moment. Which is also very good. This is also where you're going to get your first tier of two-handed club infantry, which are going to be very, very great at just beating the brakes off of fools. They get in there with those gloves and they start ripping and smashing. They've got low armor, very excellent charge bonus there at 48. You're going to do lots of damage on the way in. And they actually have a fairly decent melee defense, so they'll stick in and they'll defend themselves quite well. Very good unit. Ethiopian units are all incredible. Pretty much the entire roster is great. And then after that, though, I don't quite know what the next tier of infantry would be. Probably Yaha down here in Ethiopia, and probably... These guys are pretty heavily armored, and they're medium, your first kind of medium class axe infantry. I don't know about first, but they're definitely one of your medium class. They can move around a little bit slower, but they're way more heavily armored at 45. They actually have some armor-piercing damage, but they've got axes there. A lot of morale. Not great on the melee attack and defense, though, so this is definitely more of your front line. They just sit and they fight. And they actually have some armor-piercing, so at least they'll bite back a bit, but they're not really for doing damage. Same thing with the Philistine swordsmen. Resistant flanking, but they are also your frontline light infantry. Flanking defense improved, yeah, they're kind of more for your flanks as well. Keep them on the lightly armored, more mobile flanks, as opposed to the Hoopshu are very, very heavily armored. Well, not very heavily armored, but more heavily armored. By smashing in the back, either in the back or in the flanks, either one, you can roll an entire enemy line very, very quickly. The clubs are awesome, and we have upgraded it a bit, so our bonks won't just be very comical Muppets level. So we've got a little bit more of the blood and gore for this one. So we'll see how that rolls. It may be extra brutal. We're trying to get some of these other chariots though. So since there are not a lot of mobile cavalry type units, that's mostly coming in the form of chariots. We've got the light Cine chariots in Egypt. A lot of the higher tier Egyptian provinces we haven't quite unlocked here are going to come with chariots, most of those being archer chariots. Very good missile strength, pretty good range, and you're just for running guys down. Smashing through lines, they're incredibly disruptive. But they're pretty lightly armored as well, you can see at 55. So if they get bogged down in an enemy line, they do lose some health quite quickly. Good at skirmishing, though. Rhesus actually is I think he's the only faction that starts with chariots, makes him pretty dangerous. His chariots have the Strider perk, which is the exact same as it is in Warhammer. Let you completely ignore all the terrain penalties. So you can ride those chariots around through trees like the trees aren't there. Yeah, we won't go through all the units here, but I would say the Canaanite soldiers and the Susans are your top tier. You've got some very, very good stone slingers here with 190 range on these slings. 39 missile strength, which was even more than the other archers. I'd say the Yeehaw archers are probably the archers of ONWARD here, aren't nearly as good. They've probably got a little bit more armor piercing. 15 there as opposed to, let's find out, on the Susans. 15 as opposed to 7. So these guys are very good at taking down the lightly armored archers. They'll probably be very good at anti-skirmishers as well. As opposed to our archers, it'll be great at bringing down other armored lads, as we've said before. Got our shirted warriors as well. I don't know if we get any heavy infantry. Those are light infantry there. Even the Hanku guards are going to be medium. I think Ethiopia doesn't really get access to any kind of heavy infantry at all. Medium, so it's a very, very mobile faction. These guys do have a bonus versus spearmen, though, so that'll be great. Yeah, they do have the different units will have different bonuses depending on what the enemy is wielding melee weapon-wise, so it'll be swordsmen, spearmen, axemen, clubsmen, and all the other different kind of weapons there are, but they'll be an anti, whatever it may be, and they can fight better against said infantry. So we started out way over here. We raised all of these, came on down across the ocean and burned down Arcasia down here. There were some dolphin loving cultists down there. We dealt with them. And then we hit Knossos, burned our way through here. And this is where we have picked things up. So we'll start by passing out some skills to Memnon. So we can get to the action. In due time, brother. We're going to come on over to these skill points. I've got 3 of those guys available. We're going to first come on down. We have basically, like I said previously, we have, instead of the Memnon being his own fighter, we have a retinue of bodyguards that we can actually kind of switch out. So we start with, well, we don't start with, but we got Magi warriors at the moment. We'll come on into the skills. We can grab our final form here, which is the shirted warriors, which are going to lose a little bit of their maneuverability and melee defense and charge bonus as well, but they're actually going to have a lot more. I actually get these guys to stay without using the skills. I don't think so. They've got some different bonuses and they're a lot more heavily armored, which will allow us to keep Memnon alive. And I think we definitely need to upgrade. So we're going to come on down to these guys. The shirted warriors, the differences here are either the melee attack or the armor. And then the secondary skill lets them either become unbreakable or frightened. And we're actually going to go for the extra attack. I want Memnon to be a very angry lad. And I want him to scare off as many units as we can. Leadership is very, very swingy in this game. So if you can get guys running on away, it'll allow you to roll a line very, very quickly with actually very few casualties to either side. Sometimes battles go with very few casualties at all. We haven't had too many of those, but we're getting a lot of stacking leadership penalties to enemy units, so that'll help out. Yeah, we don't want to buff them at all. So we've got a lot of skills unlocked. I'm going to have to go through a bunch of these here. I'm not going to go through them all right now, but we've got a bunch of them to go through and try to figure out what we want next. The Covered by Hades would allow all of our light missile infantry to have a Vanguard deploy, which would work for anyone that isn't even from Ethiopia. I'm kind of more tempted to go for the superior weapons. More battle speed, and then Vanguard deployment for all light infantry. Ooh, that's not bad. Cleave is a hero ability, so you have your abilities that are, as previously said, kind of like spells from Warhammer. The only issue is you have to, or the difference is you build up rage over the battle. It's kind of a passive build-up while you're fighting, and you will activate that ability with that rage. It uses set amount. This one says 60. Yeah, 60 rage cost, and it will last for 25 seconds, giving him a 20 melee attack buff, and then 20% more armor-piercing damage, which is pretty good. Pharaoh's Edict would, for himself and everyone in range, this is for both, it's just for himself. Not quite. The Cleave would be better if we're using our own. I'm trying to find something that gives us more replenishment, though. There's our casualty replenishment right there. While in camp stance, or just in general. We encamp quite a bit, so let's go for the encamp stance. We can buff up our replenishment rate all the time. We've already got the first one there for healing arts. Want to make sure our soldiers are always topped off. And now our bodyguard changes to the shirted warriors, and actually you can come in here and change that at any time. So you start off with these spearmen here, which are quite terrible compared to what we have now. We got ourselves the Manfit infantry, upgraded to the Magi warriors, which actually we'll see if the shirted are better. But I quite like the Magi. They're very good at tearing down enemy lords. You can kind of charge Memnon in against them and not have to worry too much about them losing that fight. We've also got some golden armor for Festus, giving him more morale, extra javelin stuff, bonuses and things like that. All sorts of traits. You'll get the traits similar to any other Warhammer as you win, lose fights, and do certain things on the map. You'll gain extra traits. We've got all sorts of good ones at the moment here. We'll continue to gain more because we haven't lost too many battles, but I'm sure it's only a matter of time before our first humbling encounter. Perfect. Well, since I do have to recruit more soldiers up, we're going to go ahead and go into his encamp stance. Grab the Pharaoh's steel, but before I do want to bring in some more soldiers from Napata, so we have some more frontline Ethiopian tribesmen. I didn't mean to lose so many of them before. I guess we auto-merged them up somehow. We'll call more reinforcements from Napata, which will allow us to not build said Egyptian building, but we'll be okay.
Serve me, my friends.
We need the soldiers better for more.
Name.
Bringing in the... Where are you guys at? 2 more tribesmen, making it up to 4, and then I think what we want... 3 spearmen, 3 archers, and 2 archers from Artemis, which are really, really good. They have a missile damage that is also going to put a leadership drop on the enemy. I think we want some more clubsmen, though. We've got 2 spears here and some Magi warriors. The only units I'm really not the biggest fan of are these Nefru here, but we'll leave them in for now because they're kind of our only tanking unit now besides Memnon. Let's grab these jet staff bearers. We're going to be at a negative of bronze for a long time until we get something that actually sorts that out, so we'll just kind of keep an eye on it and keep gaining bronze through battles. Lads are recruited on in. We should no longer be able to build our Pharaoh's steel, but we'll get back to that.
Loyal and brave.
All of the other buildings are actually going to cost population, so we're not going to go for any of them until I have said hero tent maxed on out. Otherwise, it feels like we're wasting population. Not all we can get to for this turn, though. We had one more mission we can get to. We can either unlock the Canaanite brothers, which is what we're working down towards here. Canaanite brothers are on the 3rd tier of this branch here with the stone. We want to, after we get through this one, probably go back towards the pottery kilns, getting us some extra bronze per turn, which will help with our negative drop for the amount of soldiers we have. All of the more elite soldiers are usually going to cost bronze, so we will have to make sure we have a steady dose of both. Soldiers usually cost bronze and food both, or just food for the weaker ones. Alright, I think we're good now to go ahead and end the turn. Yeah, the Magi sound awesome, and if you've played any, we're getting some weird frame drops. Hopefully that doesn't continue. Assassin's Creed, they are extra awesome. The Assassin's Creed set in Egypt is one of my favorites, even though it has switched up the style of the game a little bit. Even the hardest stone sunders with cunning and persistence. A humble lesson to be learned. Extra stone per turn. Now we're working on the expert trackers, which is going to increase our success chance for ambushes. Not something I necessarily care about, but the game wants us to unlock the Canaanite brothers, and so we shall. No, our cult of Ares is leveled down. God's love is withered away, and they no longer look to us. Well, they're about to soon. To wage all sorts of war. In defense of Troy. So the next mission I'm going to check was the making a barter agreement. We just have to trade once, right? Gets us a little grip of this stuff. We'll go for that in a moment, though. We don't need it at this point in time, although that might have helped us get what we needed before. We can just do the trading at any point in time. I have to remember. This game is a lot more about trading. I'd like to get into a fight, though. We've been long enough talking. Gotis, prepare yourself. Okay, no matter what kind of garrison they have, it shall be slain. They've got a champion. Is he a champion in Ethiopia? Okay, for our divine support, we have Artemis and Poseidon. For our chariot, if we had chariots, they would get a bit more charge bonus. And then Artemis is giving all of our archers more ammunition and missile damage. That's incredible. We can probably, before we auto, we're not going to auto resolve, before we fight this one, we can encircle up and see about praying to one of the other gods. Over here to Divine Will, where you can see all the different buffs we would get from the different gods, and we can go back over here to Ares. I've got plenty of gold, and we have some coming in per turn there, so we'll go ahead and pass out a prayer to Ares, which is going to drop the morale of all enemy units on the battlefield by 5%. It'll cost us just 20 gold and some food.
Olympians, grant me your favor.
Yeah, it's not great now, but Assassin's Creed, as with most of these old titles that have gone on for a bit too long, used to be Used to be pretty awesome. Well, that's what I did. Oh, the Chosen of Ares skill. I think I gave him the prayer of Ares there. That's what we just did. Yeah, we prayed to Ares, and now we have some extra. It takes a whole turn there before it does actually kick in the effects, though. That's all.
Time to test our
The skills for Ares. Did we have one in here? Yeah, we got the prayer to Ares and the disciple of Ares. Which one would you prefer? Extra melee attack or more charge bonus? I think melee attack is probably the way to go. We'll come back to that though. I'll let you decide in the meantime. Into Gortis. The balance of power is very vastly on our side, but we haven't gotten into a fight yet, so let's get in here to crush some poor Achaeans. The Cretians don't even know that the game is already over for them. Let's get it started. Well, they probably would have helped just fine, but at this point in this battle, it's definitely going to be a win more. And I really, really do like the campaign battle maps for this game. They're quite awesome. And they do have weather conditions, which is amazing. So I do want to wait. We only have ever had the dry condition for these battles. We've got to have something a bit more interesting. It's just a dry day in Greece. Fair enough. Ooh, lens flare. What on earth? All of my men are in the forest. What is going on here? And they're all... What is happening? They've rebelled. Okay, well, we're not going to worry about that at all. This is one of the battle maps here. We've got this nice little Greek city. Honestly, they look awesome. I wish it kind of had similar to... I know there's a lot of stuff going on here with the chickens and different animals, which I actually just noticed and I'm really a big fan of. But I would have liked, instead of maybe the animals, have little villagers running around, similar to Three Kingdoms, who will run out and try to get in fights with, I think it's Three Kingdoms and Rome, correct? I haven't actually played much Rome 2, so I wouldn't know. I don't own it in current. But they'll have little villagers that'll run out and try to get in fights with your lads. You can even maybe lose one or maybe two every now and again, but the villagers will usually get jacked up by the soldiers. But it's an interesting little bit of flavor to have. Some of our infantrymen here. I do have the better camera mod on, as well as a couple that help with combat animation, so hopefully we have some better overall combat animations. They would fade away far sooner than if we got this close to them. Little spiked helmets. After that lovely bronze. If you run out of it, you lose your sword anyway, you can just bash him over the head with a helmet. Yeah, Memnon's in this army too. I forgot this was his group of bodyguards. There's Memnon himself. The bronze armed of Ethiopia. An absolute champion in battle. And he has brought his lovely Kapesh. I love this weapon. Adore Kapeshes. Are they the most obvious weapon for the job? No. Great. They started using swords eventually just because of the reach. But the Kapesh was awesome while it was in use. Okay, so we can start deploying our troops, and we will go ahead and zoom in and show off all of them. I'm happy to do so before the battle begins. We're just going to overwhelm this group like it's yesterday's business. Gilgamesh. Well, this game has been abandoned. Sadly, but it would be cool to get in other kinds of... I'm very hopeful for more historical Total War titles. These are going to be our clubsmen here, our two-handed clubs. These guys are absolute beasts in battle. They will be getting all of our kills, very similar to the Bloodletters from Total War from Korn. They are monsters. I can say that. They will destroy you, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's really interesting. These guys are hiding all in the woods over here. We may keep them. We deploy off... No, we definitely can't. Okay, so let's grab our archers. I do want to just go off all of our units. We've got our lovely archers, also from Ethiopia, or Ethiopian archers. such is the name there. Not a lot of range from these guys, but they're pretty good. And they actually hold their own in melee. So if they get caught, they actually will fight back. Revolutionary War. That would be pretty cool. I mean, they do they not have that already with Empire, though? I think you can, there's mods for, I guess, adding in the American Revolution in, at the very least. Ethiopian Spearmen and the Magi. We'll take a faster look at them, and we'll get to this fight. It's going to be such a fast battle that I'm not going to really... Best opportunity to start looking at some of these soldiers here. Our normal Spearmen, kind of our tier 1. Still very, very adept in battle. And then the Magi Warriors. Look incredible, they got the little cheetah shin guards. They're going to slay you and look good while doing it. And they're very good at bringing down enemy heroes. We're going to want to kind of keep them... Enemies, usually the AI likes to keep their hero back and behind and hiding. So we are going to kind of keep them on their own. It's a bit of a secret agent mission. And they can hide on their way over. It's going to be Operation Overwhelm and Destroy. I'll also go ahead and show off the Archers of Artemis, who also can deploy Vanguard if we so wished. Only the ones that slay beasts or Wookiees get to wear the Wookiee hide. But these are by far our best archers. Artemis has given them all sorts of steroids, injected a few of them with rabies. They fight harder than most of the mythological creatures, at least with the range department. Yes, we do get access to a few mythological units, but not the full suite. Our javelin men, and then we can get this battle started. Got the kind of the shield to defend against any skirmish attacks at them. It's not a very heavy shield, but it does its thing. Blocks a little bit of the missiles. Really, what does most of the defense is the cheetah print. Throws the enemy off long enough for them to get their spear in the other guy's neck. Works every time. Like the quack bang grenade. Alright, let's get the Ethiopian tribesmen up and ready to go. We can pretty much deploy them right in the enemy's face. So we'll have Vanguard deploy. Except for Memnon, which makes me sad. When he is not wielding his Ethiopian soldiers, he does not get Vanguard, which makes me want to put him back on... Back on the Magi. In fact, we probably will. Even after using the skill points on them. When he does get into battle, it's going to be very bad for everyone. It's going to take him a bit to get there. Have some more tribesmen here. Although, actually, we can put them in this little bit of low shrubbery. There is not only trees to hide in this game, but kind of a low shrubbery you can hide lads in. They do a very good job menacingly staring out of the brush. A lot of these warriors of Artemis cutting off any kind of nonsense coming from here. These Ethiopian archers defending the other side. Bit of a pyramid of death, or a triangle of death. You want the other javelins in the brush as well. If we can hide all of them, that'd be great. We sure can. Sneaky, sneaky.
Fucking Memnon.
Oh, they're still hiding too? Perfect. Yeah, we'll keep them all hidden. Staff bearers as well. We'll just kind of keep them running in from the side here. We've got so many units. Spearmen and then the Magi can kind of be stalking out with the archers. That'll be perfect. All of our infantry, all of our archers, and then our skirmishers. Trying to put you guys in guard mode, it didn't work. I actually don't know if I want them in guard mode. We'll leave them off for now, and if it gets anyone in trouble, we'll switch it back on. And battle begin. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. Well, I mean, especially in this time. kind of the first professional army started coming on out.
The foe has
After this
sighted
battle, you
your
have to pass
hidden
out.
units.
That's fine. Head to the bed throne. Appreciate you for stopping by. Charge! We're gonna send more of them this way. You guys charge on forward and break these archers. Oh, there's some traps in the way. They have to go around. Unfortunate. Send our heavy infantry up. Archers can start tearing away at these slings in the back here. The archers of Artemis are very good at doing so. The Giant Warriors cut these guys down here. Get on some of the battles here. We've got all of the blood particle effects at 100%, so this is as CA intended. This poor hero is getting absolutely smashed. The rest of our warriors are pretty much already overwhelming the city. They already flee. Give that guy a kick. Why run? It's just the might of Ethiopia.
Your warriors are losing heart.
They'd better not be. Who? Who's getting killed? Oh, these tribesmen here. They did have to hold the line for a bit. They were probably getting a lot of friendly fire from our javelins. That guy just got launched. I don't even know what happened to him. They look to be surrounded. Was a stab there. Now the rain of arrows is far too much. The Achaeans flee. People of Knossos rejoice. You are now free. Yeah, that was quick. And most of them turned and ran as second it started, so they only actually lost half their soldiers. Isn't really going to save them though. Yeah, get it. Oh man, that got real rough. Alright, well we only lost 54 in the battle, which was a bit unfortunate. Memnon is disappointed in each and every one of you. You get a bit of gold, bronze, food, and experience. And we now have a choice. To make them part of Ethiopia or just to burn everyone. This would give us a bit more movement range and the extra melee damage and attack of all of our units. And a little bit more in terms of loot. Or if we raise and enslave, we'll get the same amount of movement, more horde growth, and a more casualty replenishment rate. Under 2 management. It's pretty much the same thing, right? Pretty much exactly the same. We're going to go ahead and raise and kill. We need all of the extra goodies we can get. Don't so much need the replenishment rate. You have to level a cult up of Ares anyway by burning. It may not be how it works, but we're going to pretend it is. Alright, Memnon. Who are these fellas? Be you Achaean?
Discussion does no harm.
Yeah, for now. He is Achaean. Your unlucky day. We need to make a deal, so let's go on in and see if we can find some wood. Short supplies, they value it. That makes sense. Man, Priam is stocked up. Let's see if we can get some wood from old Priam here.
It would please me to speak with you.
Where is the old just single-time barter? There it is. We've got a lot of wood. Let's say 500. Oh, I'm offering him 500. How about you give me 500? And what do you want for it? 266. No. I'm not giving you bronze. How about some stone, though? Don't really have anything I could use with stone yet. 500 of this. And then maybe 200 stone. And 25 bronze. How much do you want? 240? That'll do. Maybe we can get it to 35. Haggle initiated. 32 it is. You drive a hard bargain.
Now we are all happy.
Maybe. Not yet, though. Not until Sparta burns.
Pharaoh will be pleased.
So did that not make us, a barter agreement? Resources may be bartered between two factions via diplomacy. An exchange of resources may take place all at once or over several turns. Resource bartering fosters trust between the factions involved. Is it agreement over several turns? We'll make maybe a small one in a moment. Now we move closer towards
Loyal kinsman.
Thaistos here. We'll stay in the ruins of Gortys.
Onwards, brothers.
We'll switch over into the Ethiopian encampment.
We will stop here.
And then we will finally now build our Pharaoh's Stele,
Glory is ours.
which I believe is pronounced steel. I'm going to continue to save up our population, even though I would like to use some. Although, what are we sitting at as far as surplus? 5. We only need 2 to actually go up to the next tier. We need 225 gold and some stone. So the stone I just gave away we actually need. But of course. Okay, well in the meantime then, I actually don't mind going for the Egyptian Scrolls of Knowledge here. This will give us a better research rate, drop our construction costs for all of our buildings in this army, and then give us more replenishment rate. It's pretty solid. We will save on the rest of this here though. War Spoils allows you to kind of see if you need a certain object there. So if you need... Oh, destroying these certain settlements gives you favor with the gods. Cool. If we need stone, say, we could come on over and find there's stone here on this island. It's a long ways away, but if we jumped up there, we could get some stone. We need to come on over to this province, so that's where we're going first. But if we ever need a certain resource, we know how to get it.
For my kinsmen.
Pharaoh's servant, we could call in some more lads from Kerma, but I think I want to wait on calling any more reinforcements for now until we get some of these more upgraded provinces here. I'd really, really like some chariots. Make our battles quite a bit easier. As far as known factions go, we could make some deals. I think we'd try to make one more. Instead of barter agreement, let's see if Lycia wants to make a deal. They don't value food all that much. They really value stone. They value all of this quite a bit, so maybe if I agree to give them like 3, maybe wood a turn, even though I just took some from them.
May your visit fulfill
Paris.
both.
Oh yeah, this is the barter
hopes.
agreement over several turns, so we'll go for 5 turns at minimum here. We'll give you, let's say, 10 food, or 10 wood, rather. And then you give me, how much gold? 2 gold and maybe some food? 3 food, 2 gold, and 3 food. This is a very pitiful agreement, but we need it for a mission. Don't ask questions.
Of course.
You know much about not asking questions.
Ethiopia triumphs.
You prefer mythical? I like Anomach. Zeus versus the Titans. Yeah, it would be very cool to get one that is actually more Greco mythology based instead of one that's purely set in the Trojan War, one that's kind of all-encompassing throughout the Greek mythologies and such. There's lots of stories to pull from, so they have lots of
Guides me.
different cool items to use too. Be a good idea.
Pharaoh's will be done.
Yep. Let's go ahead and after a quick drink of water, let's get back to this battle. Well, said what we're up to. So for resourceful strategies, Memnon doesn't have any ability, so other factions in the game will have heroes such as priestesses and things like that that'll allow you to kind of move around on the, or at least agents, I mean, that'll move around on the battlefield and at least on the campaign map and do certain things for you, similar to Total War. They just actually do not join in battle. They are just campaign map only. They're agents. They do certain things on the map. Memnon does not have those. He has these camp followers, so you pay a certain amount and then, or of a certain resource, and you have a certain buff that is applied to your army. So we've already got the Egyptian healers giving us a little bit more replenishment rate. Some dancers giving us some more growth. Canaanites giving us some more, the shipwrights here giving us more ship movement range while at sea. and then a rumor monger dropping enemy morale to all units. We've also got the Outrider Scout, so while fighting a battle, the action we have an action that we could choose to start at the beginning would reveal all enemy units if they were so unrevealed to start. This costs 20 gold. We don't really need to use it unless we have a really, really bad fight ahead. I just grabbed this guy's because it was cheap, and we needed to finish a quest, so that was the way. The Egyptian Assassin's really good, though, because when he's fighting any battle for 40 gold, hurts the defending hero to half their health. Don't want to deal with Achilles? Half his health. Makes it way easier. You may still lose, but makes it quite a bit more simple. Alright, all bets on Memnon?
Son of Tithonus.
Alright. Ares has answered our prayers, so everyone else is going to be way more scared of us. And we need to agree to a non-aggression pact through diplomacy. Non-aggression pact may be agreed between two factions, and yes, we know about them. It'll give us 100 food and 30 bronze. Just an agreement to not punch each other.
Memnon of Ethiopia.
My least favorite kind. Does this guy cost any of our growth at all? No, he doesn't. Not at all. Sweet. We shall instead, though, get ready to start fighting.
Siege done.
Bastos needs to be burned to the ground.
To the field of battle.
Papa needs some bronze. Oh yeah, and Team Makos and Krudamos are the defenders here. They've got some shielded spearmen, which are quite a bit more heavily armored than we're used to here. And they have battlefield healing. Well, as long as they're not fighting anyone, they could actually heal themselves, so they'll kind of patch up any wounds or anything like that. We will have to find out exactly how fast that is. We have some units to do the same. So we'll have to find out just how effective said healing is. They also can switch weapons to having it two-handed. These spearmen here have some bonus via axemen and swordsmen, and large. They're quite dangerous. Not a weak army by any means here, but we are far more elite. And this should go very one-sided. To battle. Got a very, very tight deployment zone here. Alright, Knossos. Yeah, once more, we've got dry weather conditions. Out here in the dry desert. We'll go ahead and wait. Oh, here we go. Units take longer to recover from fatigue when idle. It is raining. Your doom begins on the eve of the thunderstorm. Alright, I want my Warriors of Artemis. We'll have the warrior ladies off on the side here, with the Ethiopian archers in front. We can move basically all of these archers around the side here, have them fire in on the flanks. Very good spot to be battling into this start here. So we'll have our Ethiopian tribesmen, our cheap and cheerful clubsmen there. We'll have Memnon himself threatening another angle there. So we'll have these tribesmen probably with one group as a backup, just in case they need more fresh troops when the battle gets going, because that's going to be a very, very tight choke point. We really only need one unit fighting at a time, so we kind of keep these guys back and allow our archers to fire over the top there. That is blinding lightning, isn't it? Memnon. We want you threatening just to march straight down the center. Meanwhile, we'll have all of the javelin men hiding in wait, with the clubsmen behind them. Two-handed spears, I kind of want to bring... No, you know, we'll have all of our main damage dealers on this side. We don't need all of them hidden. With them up closer, but I don't think we want to. That would be a bit dangerous. We'll put the Magi over here. That'll be our deployment. So the tribesmen will be holding this other side, while the rest of our infantry charge down the center here. It should go quite well. Rumble in the thunderstorm. like I'm lagging quite a bit behind here. Are you all here on the map of the thunderstorm here with me, or are we that far behind with latency? Just trying to test here. And also, while I'm at it, how are things sounding? Everything all good? Does the game volume need to go up, down, anything like that? Is all well? Just want to make sure we've had some issues with OBS the past couple streams here, so I don't want to lose anyone. Definitely having a real good time hanging out with y'all here tonight. Need some Troy. Does look like the bitrate has recovered. Apologies, everyone. I think we're gonna have several obnoxious issues keep popping on up. Now, are we back though? Can you all hear me? For those that are still here, chat, can you hear me all there? Looks like one of you stuck on around. I appreciate you for it. Sorry we're having these issues though. It does look like you all are still quite a ways behind me there, latency-wise. You know what, we will go ahead and continue on with the stream, and as soon as you all can hear me, and as soon as things are working on how they're supposed to, let me know right away, and we can definitely know things are working as they're intended. I not expect to have as many issues, such as the way. Stream curse continues. That'll begin. Let's take it out on these poor Achaeans. So they should just be able to start launching arrows away. No trouble. I'm not going to charge them forward at all. Not yet. Let's bring the javelins up. The Magi up and around as well. Meanwhile, you two can just push forward.
The foe has sighted
Spearmen
your
can move up
units.
as well. We've got all of our javelin men moving into cause all sorts of nasty ruckus. Start chucking those javelins at these guys. Meanwhile, as you all move through. Right, charge in. We'll go ahead and have the Egyptian units switch to their two-handed attack mode. Bring these tribesmen around. Keep launching those arrows. The Hunters of Artemis, though, will have them start moving over and firing on these slingers a little bit further back. We are completely obliterated the lads moving in. Get a nice, complete surround off on them.
Victory
Those clubs
is
working.
close enough to taste.
Destroy the Achaeans. Make sure our archers start firing away on useful units that are either fleeing or they're tapped in there. Pull things back over up on the other stream side just to make sure we are still getting maximum bitrate. Things are looking green for now, but once again, let me know if y'all can, once you all are back, and if you can, things are back to stable. All I want is for this to work right. Where are you guys going? Those spearmen are leaving.
Consider it done.
Go ahead and give the extra charge to these guys here. We're chasing down the enemy lord. You guys charge on through. My Magi are getting shot at by archers. That's exactly what they're supposed to be doing. Big ol' ouch for them. Eat on up, boys. Attack those young spears there. We'll have these Ethiopian spearmen kind of flank there.
Your warriors
Everyone
are
else can keep
losing
charging
heart.
up. Some of our warriors are losing heart. Fair enough. They're fighting a lot of Achaeans. Alright, Warrior of Artemis. Pick different targets there. You guys fire up and start blasting away those skirmishers. Once the enemy is out of skirmishers, we have this one beaten. We have more units, more warriors. We should be able to overwhelm them quite easily. Alright, the Magi got into battle there. You start seeing some of their awesome animations. See, don't let them hit you. You're gonna stab them back. There you go. Give them the poke.
Supreme predators.
By Ares, your warriors are rallying.
They better be. They are glorious Ethiopians. And this was an absolute killing field in here, though. Many lies slain on both sides. What a victory. Oh yeah, that's exactly what we wanted to do. Well, if we missed the super gory kill, curse you, McAfee. Extra bronze, food, and gold. The curse of the stream continues. We lost 144 in the battle. That could have gone way, way worse. They've got a quite angry shieldman there, so all of the leadership drops paid out in our favor. Well done, Memnon. I think once again here, well, you know what? We don't go for raising and killing. Let's go ahead and go for the regroup, get a bit of replenishment, and some horde growth.
My knowledge grows.
And welcome on back. I see we've got two viewers back on in. I don't know if you are quite as caught up with me or you're back on the Be Right Back screen. So once you're on in, just shout it on out and I'll be happy to welcome you back in. Unless we've lost things again, which will make me very sad. But wouldn't be surprising at all. He's gained himself a new trait, guided by Hades, the shades of death with fate that no man can withstand, come over his eyes. So after raising multiple settlements there, the enemy can now hold out way less, so 3 turns less, down to a minimum of 1. Memnon is an absolute monster
Pharaoh
now.
will be pleased.
Beautiful art, too. I really wish the sagas got a bit more love. They did a very good job. It's just they got abandoned a bit early. Knossos has been vanquished.
Memnon.
We can keep moving on. Sparta has the ability to actually colonize settlements that are nowhere near them, so we may start seeing some of these start being populated with Spartans, and that'd be awesome.
With me, men.
Give me more settlements to raise. We'll jump back into our encampment and then go in to start doing some more building. I actually think we spend, wow, I don't really want to spend any gold for any of our stone yet, so we'll wait. See if we can gain some gold for our heroes retinue. And still things look really jumpy on the other side there. Let me know, y'all, if you can see things smoothing on out or the stream's still acting funky. I definitely want to make sure you all are having a proper viewing experience here. Hanging out and playing some Troy is all I really wanted to do this afternoon, so hopefully we get back to it. We've got 1 available skill point here. I think we want to use it on either one of these. It gives us some more passive buffs to either leadership or just melee stats. So prestigious leader will give us less to the actions of our camp followers, which would be very nice, but this one will give us more morale. And then more movement range for the army after battle, or the success chance for stealing spoils. Extra movement range up to 50% more? That sounds awesome. We'll move quickly over here towards the Protector of the People campaign movement. We haven't picked up any other equipment, I don't think. Yeah, not worth grabbing any of those, so we'll just go on out of here and get back to the campaign. See if we can grab any more gold. You guys don't value gold. How about do you value your lives? You give me gold, and I'm talking... How much do we need? We'll be back. Don't you go anywhere.
Son of the dawn.
We need 48. All right, buddy. Buckaroo.
I can make time for negotiation.
You give me 48 gold exactly. And what do you want for it? 270 bronze? I actually have plenty of bronze, so yeah, go ahead.
This is acceptable.
Yep, and we're about to come on in and bring down the hammer in a moment, so... You have sealed your own fate, fool.
Glory is ours.
Oh, we need 2 population. 1 more turn for that. Fair enough. You have defeated us the old-fashioned way. We have 18 unresolved notifications. Oh, good grief. What are they? We can construct things with Memnon. Oh, we don't. This is just turn 18. That makes sense. All right. And that'll be the end turn then. We continue to stockpile our resources. Hey, Aiden. Glad you're on in. It looks like things should be sorted out if you're able to chat again. Things were a little bit wonky there for a moment. But I'm happy to have you on in. Our next mission issued. We'll keep mixing up the words together. We need to fully upgrade a horde army's main building. The might of our burgeoning hordes grows in stature. Continue their development, and they will turn into an unstoppable force. A horde army may be expanded by upgrading their first building on the horde buildings tab. Such is the way. We'll gain 800 food and a grip of stone. Okay, well, let's get moving. Now we can grab that hero's retinue in a moment. These lads that we just took some gold from are next on the chopping block. You poor, sweet lads.
I will do this.
Is anyone at war with you? Let's see about being mercenary Memnon.
Discussion does no harm.
He is at war with the Tyrians, but we have not discovered them, so we cannot act as mercenaries. Just violent oppressors. All right, Memnon. Let's get them. What of course we declare war? What do you think we are? Oh, interesting. Those are his allies? Oh, I misread that. He is at war with Mycenae, Argos, Sparta, so he's a Achaean that has got on the wrong side of the bad guys there. Fair enough. We declare war. Bring it, fool. as ever it comes down to war.
Fight
Well, I
with
mean,
honor.
sure it does. Have you not heard of Memnon? We could have gained gold just from beating down on Lapa, but it makes sense that we took some gold from him the old-fashioned way first.
Time to test our skill.
Time to test our skill. Let's go ahead and encircle once
To the
real
field
quick
of
here and
battle.
see if we can actually go for another hecatomb, which is the other way we praise the gods here. The first way is through a prayer, which costs gold, which we're not going to use here. The other way is a hecatomb, which just costs food, and it is just a flat bump to their overall relations with you. So I don't care about Poseidon. We only got that because of a certain item we have. Artemis is very good at giving you access to more warriors of Artemis. Honestly, replacing all of our Ethiopian archers is probably worth it, but I'd rather keep them. The worshipped effect would give us all of our light infantry units the Strider ability. That sounds beyond amazing. Artemis it is. How much more do we need to get into that tier, though? All the way up to 600. The Hecatomb gives you 80. Oh, good. I'm terrible at math. 80 would not, I don't think, take us up. That would get us up to 540. The Ares one would take us up into the second tier, which would drop the enemy morale by 10%. That sounds great. Let's grab a Hecatomb for a bit of food there.
A sacrifice brings honor.
And we can't use one of these for 5 more turns, but now we have even more charge and more morale drop as well. All of our two-handed infantry are going to be absolute monsters. Exciting. Ares and Artemis did not get along, though. That I do know. Artemis didn't get along with many of the others, though. He was kind of a
Remember your training.
grouchy goddess. Okay, well, remember your training. Let's bring down Lapa. They definitely don't have many as far as soldiers go, but we're going to fight all of these because these battles are awesome. And who knows when we're going to actually come across another main army. It's been a while. To war. Oh, I did not even see you say goodnight. Well, you're probably already gone now, but when you're watching this later. Glad you made it in. Good night. We're gonna wait, because dry effects are boring. Get another thunderstorm. Come on, then. Nah, just gonna be dry. Dry desert. We start deployment. Very similar to the last one, but there's a double gap here. We're just gonna run them over. Let's grab our infantry. Only Vanguard. I grabbed the Nefario in on accident. Hide them in the brush there. We'll grab our Warriors of Artemis. Our other bowmen. All of our javelins in front of them. And then just the spearman horde. Memnon and the other spearmen have to stay back. There's a little bit of a heavy infantry. They did very well in the battle, though, so I'm not going to get rid of them. I like him with those units. The Magi are just much more of an interesting style unit, being anti-infantry or anti-hero. Alright, so melee is 1, archers, skirmishers, and battle begin. Alright, all of you fire on these slings here. You javelins go after the spearmen.
The foe has sighted your hidden units.
We'll grab these spears, have them go after these militia here. Make them suffer. Indeed. Tear them apart. Could be no trouble at all. You guys rush back on those militia behind. Pretty much already eliminated that unit of spearmen before they even got into battle. The slings too. We have so many ranged units flying at them. They're already out of there. What is battle not? You don't have the stomach for battle. Even the flying knee. Some of these attacks are incredibly disrespectful. I'm here for it. Although it looks like we may have lost our blood effects. I hear some.
Your warriors
It's just
are
not
losing
incredibly over the top. That's fine with me, actually. Don't mind that at all. Who's losing heart now? Is it some of more of our tribesmen? Those guys got smashed. What happened to you dudes? Fair enough. Push forward. Get some extra speed and charge bonus for these lads here. Keep moving in.
One of your units has no more
Gosh.
ammunition.
Make them pay!
The mazes should definitely get some violence afoot there. And victory. We always seem to lose a lot of tribesmen. We definitely need to get some more elite light infantry. And we soon shall. Well done, everyone. Yeah. That's exactly how you use that. Right in the back. Right in the back. And Nectar has fallen. Weak champion he was. Memnon easily bringing him down. We shall go ahead and grab the extra regroup as well. Once more here.
I have honed
More
my
horde growth. We
skills.
definitely need it. He is now also a confident besieger, dropping the siege holdout time even further and giving us more morale in siege battles. Awesome. Well done, Memnon. We can't quite reach Aptera. Let's move over a little bit.
March with me.
Move as far as we can then. And jump into our encampment and grab some of those upgrades
Our
to the
journey
horde.
continues.
Our heroes tent can go up to the heroes retinue with some extra resources to spare, which is awesome. The Egyptian chest of knowledge would be great. Yeah, I think we go for that. Cost a bit of bronze. We have got plenty of olive except for stone, but we're gaining a small grip of that every turn, and we're going to be low on it probably for most of the campaign until we find a city that is rife with stone to destroy. Alright, Memnon. You've got one more skill point. I think we want to go for either covered by Hades. I think by Hades. Although, we'll hold off on that one. That'll be kind of the ultimate decision. For now, let's finish off the Protector of the People, so after we win a battle, we'll get even more movement range, allowing us to kind of steamroll even further there. That'll be great.
A courageous victory.
Courageous victory. Indeed. We definitely need lots of extra research rates so we can get through and get these extra provinces in Egypt faster. Call in some better reinforcements. We really would love some chariots. New territory unlocked. We have unlocked Memphis. My lord, good news. The echoes of your glorious deeds have traveled far. Heroes of yet another land are eager to join your march. You can now recall reinforcements from Memphis, territory in the region of Egypt. And Poseidon's frenzied... That doesn't look good. The mighty Poseidon famously despises the city of Troy and yearns to tear down its proud walls, which, according to a legend, he was forced to build by Zeus. The tempestuous Olympian often sends earthquakes to the Trojan capital, causing the very ground to shake with rage and throwing its population and armies into disarray. Prior to the disaster, the horses of Troy, recognizing the diving creator's impending fury, neigh and kick, as if the Lord of the Depths himself has spurred a great stallion onto the charge of the city's ramparts. That sounds terrible. So Troy's walls are currently being battered down. We need to get to work and keep doing some more damage so they don't have to worry about Sparta at the very least. They should be wiped out long before they arrive on Troy's shores. So we'll do our best at least. Looks like the next army has a bit more backbone. Maybe. They've got Hephaestic equipment. Extra armor and melee attack. Interesting. It will help you all of
King
zero,
of
but
Ethiopia.
very interesting.
Absolutely.
Get him, Memnon.
Time to test our skill.
Time to test our skill. So everyone here has some Hephaestic equipment. Cool. They've got some bowmen. A light bowman. They've got less range than the Warriors of Artemis, so they're going to have a really bad day. How many of those guys do they have? 3 total. We've got our work cut out for us. What's a siege? So it's going to want us to build some equipment. We actually don't need the equipment. The ram is almost useless. You move so slow. And the towers in this game are so incredibly terrifying. What we will do, though... I thought about waiting for maybe a turn and allowing the walls to be worn down a bit. I'll start taking attrition immediately. Let's gamble a bit. Try to get them to take some attrition. Make this siege a wee bit easier. The walls, the towers themselves do so much damage. They fire arrows like they're machine guns. we will go ahead and set up the battering ram, but we probably won't use it, and we'll continue the siege.
With pride and valor.
Pride and valor.
Remember your training.
Do any building while they're besieged? No. That seems to be a bit cheating. We'll go into our missions. We need to find a non-aggression pact. Yeah, that we can do. Let's see about diplomacy. Quick deals here. Who would like a non-aggression pact? Lycia. Almost.
Speak as to a friend.
You would want 1,000 bronze? You are greedy. We can afford it at the moment, and so you're lucky. We will go ahead and agree to this because we need it for a quest. Sarpedon, the extremely greedy.
At once.
At once. You got a bunch of bronze. Okay, there. That finishes our agree to a non-aggression pact, giving us 100 food and 30 bronze as a trade. Worth it. Was that just a tutorial mission? How sad. Okay, we'll get there then. No problem. Let's see what kind of new units we got from Memphis there. I think that we were definitely looking forward to getting some chariot units. We can gain, yes we can, the light Sene chariots, which have almost no armor. We really want to keep them out of melee if we can help it. Or at least charging through at all costs. Yeah, let's definitely call these guys in. They cost 7,000 food and 850 wood. Easy.
Serve me.
Call them in.
In Pharaoh's blessed name.
Men of Memphis. Put on your blue suede shoes and join me. Can I recruit these guys in now before the battle? I don't want to kick guys out and not be able to, but I think we'll have to risk it. Let's go ahead and merge. No. See, that's probably what I did wrong. We'll go ahead and merge these two here.
Field of battle.
Go ahead and kick this guy out just to test it. Can we recruit said chariots? Oh, we can. Rest in peace, your souls. Let's get rid of these Ethiopian tribesmen.
Remember your training.
Head on back to Ethiopia, boys. You've done well. And we will grab ourselves some more chariots. Very light. I thought I grabbed both. Oh, I only get one of them. I see. I'm a bit of a fool. Okay, we'll grab these man-feet infantry then, so we have one more unit of frontline. 3 staunch spear for our frontline. Sounds very nice. We got some very good armor. Better than their Nefru cousins there. Welcome. Now we get to start the battle. It is awesome you get to recruit before the battle starts.
To the field of battle.
All right, Tros. Well, I did say before we were gonna wait. I think now we just go ahead and come get you. Bring them out. Bring them out. Okay, let's see if we can get some more weather effects. No whammies. Looks like it's gonna be dry. Dry all the time. Such is the way. Thankfully, there seem to be less towers on this this map here, so we won't be getting shot at nearly as long. I want to try to avoid this one's line of fire. We'll try to attack mostly on this upper part of the city. Take the high ground from them. They could claim it back with this. There's some very good settlement battles on this this game here. I wish they would kind of port some of these just right over into Warhammer. This one would fit nicely. It would be an awesome battle too. Okay, our heavily armored desert warriors, so they call themselves. Set on up. We'll have Memnon. I want him coming from the side because the towers will focus fire down one unit, and they kill your unit so very quickly. I don't want my unit, our hero, to get wounded. So we're gonna lump together the medium infantry, even though I know these guys don't count as. All of the light infantry, archers, and then skirmishers, including the chariots. We can come on in and take a look at our brand new chariots. These guys look awesome. We need more chariot units in Total War. At least not chariot units, ones that look better. The Chaos chariots are too samey. Really incredible looking. Very ornate as well. The blankets on the horses. Definitely to help out, we can kind of drop those over their eyes if there's a sandstorm. Or I might be incredibly wrong, but that seems to be the use for that. I'm actually not sure as to how much we're going to get out of you, so we'll pull you back behind these trees so you're not getting shot at by the towers. We can rush them in later on. Can't really go through the gates very well. And I don't want them to get torn apart by the towers. I'm not sure how much damage they do. I do know how much damage the towers will do to the infantry, though. It is a lot. Alright, enough dirtling. Infantry to attack the main portions of the wall. We'll have the warriors of Athena, or Artemis,
The foe has sighted your hidden units.
to attack this portion of the wall. Can I do a combo of the Ethiopian and them? Yeah. We shall. A really heavy attack of archers over this wall at this point here. Group them back together. Ethiopian javelins. We will have them attack from the woods here. Looks like they will be spotted immediately. Those towers do a number on our visibility, don't they? Well, I would rather you guys take the damage than our infantry, so... Fortunately, you are the expendable ones. Look at you. You have been upgraded to expendable. These guys have shields. These staff bearers will run in behind them. Two-handed spears on the other side there, because they act very similar to the staff bearers. They just don't have quite as much damage and charge bonus there. Just gonna kind of rush up and over the walls, do what we can. Everyone's over. We just need to deploy Z's staff bearers next. I think I'm gonna deploy them in this position. It'll be very hectic on the start, but we should have them. That'll begin. Memnon, get up there. You guys too. Go up on the fort wall here, though, so you can kind of flank up and over. Javelins, move up. Start chucking them at these club warriors here. You boys move to take the walls. If you take the walls as well, you're going to probably lose that fight. We're attacking the gatehouse. You two push forward. Archers are absolutely annihilating those club warriors there. Warriors of Artemis, though, you've got great range. Come up and deal with these
Ladders
bowmen.
have a foothold on their walls.
Ladders are starting to hit the walls. Come on, lads. Gotta move fast. Try to lose as few as we can here. Let's go ahead and do some anti-skirmishing. Try to do some anti-skirmishing at least. We'll bring forward the chariots as well. Come on, Memnon, get moving, bud. Extra melee charge bonus for these guys. Bring them down in on these bowmen as quick as they can. Warriors of Artemis, switch targets. These bowmen here. You hit them. We'll find out. They can try. Tribesmen are up on the walls. They're going to probably lose that fight to the spearmen, though. The spearmen are pretty deadly in a battle.
Your warriors are attacking the gates.
One over and help. Get a full surround. We got a motorcycle going by outside. Don't mind them. They should be gone so shortly. Actually, if I talk over them. Try to fire on these bowmen here. Very clumped up. Get down there, Memnon. It looks like all of the chariots are getting shot at by the towers.
You have captured the enemy tower.
Love to hear it. You guys get up on the walls as well. We need everyone up there to overwhelm them. We're taking a look at some of the battle on the wall here. We'll have to slow it down so I can actually see some of the fighting going on here. There's a lot happening all at once, but we want to make sure we get the orders off so we don't lose too many soldiers here. Heavily armored Greek soldiers. Awesome looking tortoise shell shields. Doing what they can to hold. Looks like the gates are starting to fall. They're hitting them with their clubs.
You are about to capture the gates.
Love to hear it. We are pouring up on the walls here. Give them the old kick instead of using their spears. That's exactly proper. Whole bunch of lads lay slain up here, though. Our archers have done a very good job. And now the infantry hit the line, and we can start tearing them apart. Memnon. Let's give the Magi a bit more charge bonus so they can come on down and fight down these young spears. Staff bears are dealing with the bowmen nicely. You ladies can switch targets to the young spears. Those slings are causing problems. Let's make sure the warriors of Ethiopia come on around.
Your warriors are losing heart.
Yeah, the foot soldiers are not the best at being loyal to the battle there. Gonna have them just kind of wiggle back and forth so they don't get shot at too much. And kind of hit them with shift, like multiple places, and they'll move to multiple spots. Checking the gates is almost not worth it at all. Bring down those shielded spears.
Your warriors have been routed.
Yes, they have. They'll be back though. I believe in them. Wait, don't believe in the bit of a lag. We're back though, thankfully. This is a cursed stream, as they seem to have been lately. Go ahead, taunt these spears here. Further up on the wall, we can't. Taunt these guys as they try to run. It's not letting me taunt anyone. Alright, such is the way. Those archers are trying to flee. Absolute cowards. These clubsmen are a little bit too deep, though. Let's pull them back. Otherwise, they're going to probably have a really bad day. You three are getting annihilated. Try to get up and over those walls. Or through the gates, finally. Charge on in. Where's my chariots? We need them now. Get into melee. Get rolling. I can't help it. And it looks like most of them are fleeing. Our expert bowman. Love to hear it. All the guys on the walls keep bringing down these shielded spearmen. Chariots are rolling through. Oh, those gates were open. There they go. Come off to the side here and then go through. Otherwise, rolling through all these braced shieldmen will be a bad thing. Give them the old taunt. Right, they're around.
Captured the gates.
Now crush the slingers. Archers move up, start beating down on these next club warriors, and actually change my mind. You guys fire on these slingers behind. They've got renowned slingers in there. They should do a lot of damage if they were not being slain by Memnon. Oh yeah, riding them down.
Is close enough to
Come on through and help out with these club warriors here. Use that mass. You've got no armor. The Duat awaits. We've got him. All archers switch targets to Arctos there. He needs to be slain. Are my Magi. Riding them down easily. Let's come on and deal with these archers if we can. Although, yeah, we can easily come on back here and deal these bowmen and slings in the back. As Memnon crushes the fleeing units. Come on, guys. Are the Ains? Oh, they're an entire fire at will. I thought they were in skirmish, perhaps. Keep rolling up the hillside there. Let no one slow you down. I think most of the enemy wants to flee anyway. We'll grab Unit 3, have them all fire on Throlls here instead. He is a protector. The infantry moving forward. These chariots seem to keep getting a bit mixed up on their routing there. So you just roll that way and I'll tell you where to go from there. A bunch of spearmen, looks like they're fleeing back to the Victory Point Plaza. Very brave. Very brave indeed. Oh, there's the victory. They just throw up the white flag. That's enough. Chariots are so overwhelming. Indeed. Yeah, you didn't need that leg anyway, or that arm. Moving all of the extra body parts. All free. Take your bronze, your food, and your gold. And we shall raise this settlement and We did take a lot of damage there, so I think we do want the horde growth. We do get a lot more gold for raising it without, but I think it'll be worth it to get the extra replenishment.
I have honed my skills.
Indeed, Ares is quite pleased with all of our raising. Means he is up to tier 3. I thought he already was. No, he's up to celebrated, which gives us 15% drop to morale of enemy units. On top of that, we've got 2 others that drop it by 5%. Should be up to 25% morale drop, as well as 10 extra melee attack, more experience per turn, and more income from raiding, raising faction wide. Absolutely amazing. Alright then, Memnon, can you reach Cydonia? Almost. We'll camp out right outside.
Onwards, brothers.
Don't want to be close. Ooh, there's a pretty massive stack army there. Well, massive.
That will not work.
Mandra the princess. She looks more like a chef, but princess she is. We will, I don't know, scoop
Our
back a
journey
smidge.
continues.
Go into encampment
We will
stance.
stop here.
And I think we'll be fine. We could recruit into some more
Pharaoh
base
will be
tribesmen.
pleased.
Just gotta make sure we don't get run over by these guys. They're not the best, and they do kind of die in droves, so gaining some more is not a bad call. We do also still have some skill points to pass out. It actually looks like Memnon's lads there have some missiles they can throw. Some extra javelins they carry into battle, 2 of them at least. Britain warriors, you are quite amazing. We've got all the extra replenishment we can get. We've got Protector of the People, so we get even more movement after winning those battles. Blessings of Ethiopia would have dropped the upkeep of Ethiopian spearmen or hunters. We actually don't have too many of those units in the battle anymore, so we'll actually leave this off. That as it is to say. Okay, so we've actually progressed quite well here through, so we may go for Ares' Rage. Makes him unbreakable. Does make him berserk, though, so he will attack wherever he wants automatically. Don't like that so much. Is there a way to remove the berserk? 70% weapon damage? That's a lot. Just throw him in, don't care. Much better on the non-historical version. Melee attack or charge bonus. Vanguard deployment is very nice, but I think we'll have no problem Vanguard deploying with all of our Ethiopian. We're going to have mostly an Ethiopian army, probably until the very, very late game. I think we'll still then only really have light and heavy for the medium infantry being not from Ethiopia, so we don't really need this because it won't help with those medium infantry. We'll come on over and grab superior weapons, getting us more damage to all of the units. And then we can decide between the shielded boys or the two-handed weapons, which we'll probably go for them. Bird Ares would give us some more melee attack of swordsmen and melee attack of all units during siege battles. We actually don't have many swordsmen yet. That'll be the Philistine. Are there any swordsmen that come from Ethiopia? No, it's just spears. So the two-handed spear Magi. The Susa shirted warriors are swords. Henku guard as well. So the more elite guys we're going to have are all going to be swordsmen. But we're not up to that yet, so we will just go ahead and make sure we have skills that benefit Memnon now. Let's go for these superior weapons. Extra damage for all units in this army.
Pharaoh's will be done.
Indeed, brother. We need 2 more, or I guess 1 more turn before we have the surplus for the Heroes Pavilion. We just need some more wood and a stone, both. We will see how much we gain from the fight with Cydonia, and then from there we can do some trading with our nearby allies and see how much we can gain from them. We will jump into diplomacy real fast, see if any quick deals can be made. Definitely not. Definitely not. Alright, back down here then. And it actually did say we gained some new followers from Memphis, did it not? So we can come on into the Resourceful Strategist and take a look. These are the Memphis Scribe. More experience per turn for all units. Oh, I thought I had extra followers. It just meant the units themselves. Fair enough. Okay, then. That'll be the turn. Hey, Common, how you doing? Another late stream? Yeah, for sure. But all of the streams on Friday nights I was going to have at starting around 9 to 9:30. It's pretty late, but I figure we have a good amount of time to kind of hang out, kick back, and play some Troy. Would you prefer it be an earlier stream? I'm happy to have any kind of feedback there. I'll find the English eventually. And I'm also trying to figure out exactly how far back you guys are. We had some issues with the stream earlier with the bitrate. And so I'm still a bit concerned. Things have gotten a bit haywire here. So let me know, are you back here with me on the screen with Azmaret, the hero here, who's back ready for duty? Or are you back there and with the battle? Missed a couple comments earlier there just because we were dealing with all the computer issues. It continue to be a cursed stream, unfortunately, but we will keep cracking on.
Servant of Egypt,
I'm happy to have you all here.
as suggested.
Cool, cool. Glad to hear it. And are you here with me? Can you see Kydonia, or are you back in the battle? I'm still trying to figure out what's going on with the... Like I said, we had lots of issues earlier.
My honor guides me.
Where'd the enemy army go? He
Fight
fled.
with honor.
Left his people to die. We're gonna go ahead and give this one to auto-resolve. I want to see just how badly it... Oh, never mind. It kills my Ethiopian javelins. That's unacceptable. We fight. Perfect. Excellent. Love to hear it. Means we are back on track. I was concerned for a moment there. Let's wait on through the weather conditions. As the attacking force, you may have to choose to wait for more favorable conditions. Oh, we already know this. We wait. I'm trying to get another thunderstorm. That was awesome. Just dry all the time. Dry bone desert. Okay, then we deploy. I'm going to keep the weakened units back, so you, and you. Just go hide in the woods. Go find me the biggest beetles you can. Don't come back till you're done. Put them on guard mode too, just so I know who they're at. Missile front, melee front. That's just how you deploy people. What do you mean? Warriors of Artemis and Ethiopian archers to be emerging from the shrubbery there. A blanket of death. They shall weave. Cool. We also have our first set of chariots as well. And for those just joining, these chariots are awesome. They've got not much armor. Look how awesome they are. They've got little blankets on their heads. The horses. It's pretty cool looking chariots. Yep. Won't spend too long, but just for those coming on in. Not too many new units besides them. We do have the Manfit infantry, but we've seen them because they were one of the bodyguard units we had for Memnon earlier on, but they are a bit more staunch and sturdy for a spear line, have a bit more heavy armor, and those provide a very good anvil for most of our hammers.
To battle!
Memnon has his very nasty light swordsmen who are great in combat. And they terrify the foe, too.
For our king.
We do have to deploy quite a ways down this hill, though, which is a bit amusing. We'll have our medium infantry. We'll have two of them going up the front gate there, Memnon and these other spearmen.
Consider it done.
There'll be more deployment than fighting here, as per most of these fights. We'll hide them all in the brushes, or the brush where we can. The new meta templates for HOI4. I'm drawing a bit of a blank. It is late. What do you mean when you speak of HOI4?
The pride of Ethiopia.
To hide everyone we can in the bushes. They can all rush out together and be an absolute menace. We do need some more javelin men. But for now, they're kind of wounded. So what am I talking about? These guys are wounded. All right. Ranged units. Infantry. And then I guess the boys there. Hero is an infantry unit, but you know how it is. Hearts of Iron 4. Oh, fair enough. I haven't actually gotten much. Listen, I haven't gotten to pick up too many new titles here. Just Total War, and I've got Troy for I've had Troy for a while. We picked up Age of Wonders too. That's one of my recent acquisition, if you will. The Hearts of Iron looks like a good bit of fun. Alright, let's get this thing started. Didn't really mean to leave the javelins in the center there, but that'll be fine. We'll roll you guys up on the side. They can kind of harass that group with their arrows. Meanwhile, our archers just go ahead and unleash a hail on this unit
The
here.
foe has sighted your hidden units.
Indeed they have. Oh, they've got archers back there. I didn't realize. Pull you guys back. And let's go run the archers down with our chariots. Go get them all together. Forgot how much I love the guitar music that plays during these battles. Those tortoise shields are doing very good at blocking, but if you turn around, see, it's not as effective when you turn your back to the enemy. Just wanted you to know. Blast these fools. Give them some extra charge bonus here. Rip on through this unit of spearmen as quick as you can. Memnon cut off to the side there. We'll go ahead and charge these guys. Get a nice flank and give them a nice opportunity to shoot behind those shields too. Minimize our casualties. Arrows come from the brush. Get out of here, fools. It is if you like min-maxing and being yelled at. That tends to be the way with most of these games. Min-maxing, I tend to be very bad at, though. I thought I told you guys to go get into melee. What's wrong with you? We don't want to, boss. We've got no armor. Yeah, but see, I wanted to see you guys running down bowmen in a glorious charge. Get to it. Skirmish chariots are a bit squirrely. What are you doing, guys? Looks like most of the enemy there are broken except for those slings, so we'll just kind of get everyone here and click this unit and proceed to win. Flee for your lives, Antilochus. He's gonna run some guys down. Oh, there's like little crunching sounds too. That was horrifying. Yeah, right in the back. Oh, in his head too. See, you should have fought better there, bud. He lost 42 in the battle. And we shall... I like the idea of raising and killing. It's a lot of good stuff. But we get more replenishment rate in the other version. Greed it is. Memnon is now independent. He needs no man, and he gets to move at 7% more.
Memnon.
So where did that army of cowards run off to? They're gonna go hide in Isamos?
Onwards,
Oh, there he is. Hey, buddy.
That will not work.
Are you sure about that? You have yourself Chef Boyardee,
Not possible.
some militia, and some spearmen. How scared of you do you think I am? Memnon?
My honor guides me.
Smush.
We venture forward.
And that man left so fast he hit warp speed. Okay, we'll go ahead and jump into an encampment stance, get a bit of replenishment then. I don't want to spend some food on gaining some lads from Napata. We could replace our tribesmen. Although thinking about it, we can kind of get rid of the last of our tribesmen. Memphis is going to take a couple turns before we do. So you know what now, for now. These guys cost very little. See how much it is to get the next tribe or hero pavilion there. Costs quite a bit. Egyptian tent library gives you 30% more research rate. That's really great. Do you think we want to save towards the maximized heroes pavilion?
Pharaoh will be pleased.
But at the same time, that unlocks Memphis. They all do. This last one just gives you more growth, more casualty replenishment, and more recruit rank to all units. That's pretty solid. How good is Troy? Troy's pretty solid. It's It is very, very similar to Warhammer. It's just got a much more infantry focus. All of the battles are pretty infantry focused.
Servant of Egypt.
You do have your archers in there, but they are mostly used for beating down on other archers there, as they have very low armor piercing usually. These guys have 10. Ethiopian archers and the Warriors of Artemis are the exception to the rule. They're both incredible, and they actually add a discouraged effect, so it's very much like Warhammer. Has a lot of the same,
Son of Tithonus.
effects as Warhammer, just kind of renamed. But unlike that, you have different kind of weight classes of infantry. So like you've got light, which are kind of fast and speedy, and they don't take as many vigor penalties. Got medium tier, which really are just kind of a little bit more heavily armored. They're kind of all-rounders. Don't take any penalties, but don't get any benefits either. And then you got your heavy infantry, which actually Ethiopia has none of. But heavy infantry, obviously very heavily armored and are just very slow, and are kind of more meant for staying in one spot and just holding a position down. You've also got very, very limited cavalry. Mostly going to be chariots. I think there's a couple horse units. I think it's only like 1 or 2, though. There's not very many. Oh, you do get chariots. We get a couple actually different chariot options from Egypt and Canaan, which are pretty solid. Thebes has the more heavily armored bow chariots, the medium chariots there. Still a bow chariot, so it's not quite meant to be smashing into combat, but this one does a bit better than the one we have now. One we have now, if we can keep the icons I want, have very low armor, 25, as opposed to the, I think, near 50 of these lads. Yeah, 55. Over here at Ugarit, we get the Marianu, which are actually more of a melee class chariot. They're very heavy. They've got 80 armor. Smash into the enemy there, and they're meant to stay in and do some real damage and disrupt their formation. You just got to unlock them.
Ethiopia triumphs.
But I quite like Troy. It's not definitely going to be for everyone, but I really do like the Greek mythology. Did a bit of studying it as a youngin', and I'm picking it back up. Was a good deal of enjoyment for me then, so getting back into it. Trojan War is pretty popular story from the old days. I prefer the Odyssey, but it's not hard to make a Total War based around the Odyssey. So here we are at the Trojan War, which is perfect for Total War. I think we'll keep saving for the Heroes Pavilion. We're not going to be able to finagle a couple thousand wood out of anyone. We might be able to get 100 stone, but we'll easily get that. So actually, we'll probably get all of these in the next battle. We'll save on these other buildings here, but we'll jump into the Divine Will, make sure we're not losing any issue or any favor with the gods. I don't care so much about losing Poseidon's favor, though. Extra reload skill to archers faction-wide. That sounds absolutely fantastic. The prayer to Artemis gives us 5 more Artemis warriors to be recruited from the special recruitment pool. And then units from Kerma, Sais, and Apata give the Strider. Yep, so go ahead and activate this prayer here so we get Strider for all of our light infantry units.
Olympians, grant me your favor.
Yeah, Greek mythology is awesome. It would be great to start getting some more documentaries and shows. There's so many stories from all the different mythologies, including Memnon. I mean, even from Ethiopia and Africa. We've got a vast array of cultural stories to pull from to make all sorts of new games, movies, all sorts of things. So here's hoping. I do forget names all the time as well. There are a ton of them, and I mispronounce them like a clown. So we get to hear that lots here. We have become expert trackers. A great hunter can follow a lead using the tracking skills to trap their prey. Well, that tells me a lot, doesn't it? The artwork on this is absolutely stunning. Very good job if anyone is out there and is part of the Troy team one day. You did well. You did well, even if you abandoned this game. Prayer answered of Artemis. The priestesses assure us the Artemis has heard our prayers. She would most likely not answer Memnon, being that he is 100% not female. The Tyrans have been vanquished. Alright, well, now soon shall be the Kissamos. They have the Woodcutter's Lodge, the boat stands, the practice range. They have nothing extra here to guard the city other than the normal garrison. They are shielded spearmen, so they're going to be staunch, but nothing we haven't broken before.
Memnon of Ethiopia.
Our army could probably go for a bit of replenishment further, if we do go into a raiding stance,
Find their loot.
you know what? We're going to do that. We're going to jump into a raiding,
March with me.
do a bit of a snatch and grab, and then we'll go ahead and attack them. This gives us one more turn of replenishment. Not as much as previous, but it'll be just fine, and we'll steal some goodies while we're at it. We generate 86 food, 557 wood, and then 24 stone. Sounds great. He shouldn't come over and attack us. He looks to be a coward to me. Our next royal decree. Oh, we can't afford the Canaanite brothers because we need stone. Oh. Plot twist. I'd rather have the Ethiopian armies. I've already said that, but I mean it greatly. Income stone from raiding. Not gonna take 5 turns. Well, curses. We need the stone to build our buildings too. Well, we'll have to grab the Canaanite brothers first. Because unlocking Megiddo is going to be our next kind of focus. It gives us some wood, some food, and some bronze. Fully upgrading the Horde army gives us less overall. So I think we'll save for, depending on how much we get. Makes me a bit sad though. We have to split it as such. That's why we got rid of the other army we had earlier on. Just not worth the upkeep. We'd have to pay all of the resources that need to go to Memnon for them. You don't want that. In the meantime, we do have to select a research. Let's go ahead and grab. How many do you want the pottery kilns? Help reduce our overall bronze reduction. Price of mercy, we get. Oh, hang on now. 20 bronze per turn, 200 food, 3 gold, 15. Warn those whose life we spare to give us a share of the goods, lest we return with vengeful hearts. We won't come back if you give us some of your goodies. This would give us the Thebes, which is the medium tier chariots. Where do we get the elite lads from? African territories, from armor. The Asian territories, but where do we get... there they are. There's Susa. Very elite. That's Susa, but where is the other Canaans? This just gives us Megiddo. Huh. They hide these quite well. I wish it would be a bit more obvious which one gives you the units. Of course, I could also be less dumb, but either way there. Yeah, I think we either go for bronze or extra income from raiding, but that doesn't give us that much of goodies because it'll take 5 turns. I think we'll just go for the pottery kilns. Get a bit of a passive income to bronze. All sounds good. On Godspeed. Oh, you said Godspeed, man. I'm gonna keep this stuff mixed up all the time. Yeah, no, Godspeed. Hope you do well. Who are you gonna be playing as? Let's go back in that raiding stance. Get all mixed up. Oh, we can't now. Interesting. It cost 50% to adopt it, and then we took it off the stance. We'll have to remember that going forward. That's a wee bit sad. Well, we'll take this opportunity to do the replenishment, and then we'll... Oh, we could maybe jump into an ambush.
Ready an ambush.
Yeah, let's do it. Ready the ambush. And there is nothing that'll tell you how much chance you have to ambush. You just have to hope. You just have to hope. Iron barter's fine. I did not want to barter with Paris anyway. You got lucky. Rate is below 30, huh? Rude. Memnon's ambush was foiled. I guess they heard us in the bushes there, being all shouty. He recruited up a couple extra lads, so our replenishment may have backfired on us, but let's throw one over to Kizamos, who was able to recruit skirmishers, perhaps some militia. We've got a bunch of militia. I am not scared of militia. To battle. Nah, it is all good. It's just a game. I was sort of choking on water. I saw your comment and I rushed to try to respond and I about died in the process. Go ahead and wait. Tis a game. What do they get bonus-wise? The game sounds pretty fun. I don't have quite the cash money to chill out for it right now. Such is the way. Okay. I love the settlement battles here. Very well done, detail work-wise on the cities. As previously stated, though, I would really like to have, like, some villagers running around. They've got, like, chickens and such. Yeah, you can see this little cow here. And this is awesome and stuff, but the, like, 3 kingdoms where you can kind of light portions of the map on fire, and, you got, like, wildlife and even villagers running around that'll attack your guys and they will get jacked up in battle, but they will run over and try to fight before they get brought down. Here's what we're gonna do. Before we attacked from over there, and that was pretty great. Let's get some variants in. This allows them, though, to have a lot of extra soldiers reinforcing. We'll have to keep that in mind. We're gonna be a bit more reserved with it this time. We won't use our militia quite so, or our Ethiopian tribesmen quite so recklessly. We'll have our heavy infantry moving up the middle here, or as heavy as we have access to. Spearmen. Want the Magi moving up from kind of a sneaky position, maybe over here. I want them sneaking around and bring down the enemy hero. We'll have the Magi roll with our Sine chariots. The bow is what you seem to be more of. I will not judge. We'll have the skirmishers hiding in this bit of woods too. And we'll have the warriors of Artemis hiding in said woods. No, we don't want all these. Oh. Well, too late. Hello, poly cow. Such is the way for this one. It doesn't have the highest fidelity graphics, but it's a pretty good game. It's aged alright. I don't have too many problems, I can't lie. Although I would trade out a low poly cow for a low poly villager that comes over and gets jacked up by our warriors. Tries his luck, only to be slain. We only get 60 of the warriors of Artemis. There aren't too many of them. Crazy ladies with a bow. They're just hiding in the woods here. So menacing. No one shall survive their blanket of arrows. We shall sing them a song of death. Alright, where are our clubmen? Don't really need them to hide. I'll just keep them behind Memnon and they'll fan out and do damage where they can. Spearmen also off the side here. Don't really need to hide them. Let's get the battle started. Chariot, you can kind of stay where you're at. Looks like they're going to be scared of you for a better part of the battle. We won't worry about that for now then. Push the archers up. You two can trade with the other bowmen very well with the extra 8 range. And you two can start peppering this champion with some arrows. Meanwhile, our skirmishers, looks like they're pretty much home free. There's bowmen there, though. Pretty much home free. Start chucking some javelins at this poor fool here. Memnon straight down the front line. And then these two work together here on these shielded spearmen. Bring the other heavy spearmen forward. Make sure no one causes any issues for the ladies on the other side there. Should easily win that trade. Lots of enemy shieldmen on the other side, so we're gonna wait. Let's pull these bowmen. They have shields though, don't they? I'm gonna rotate over. We have a lot more mobility than they do. Memnon, let's go ahead and make our soldiers great. Who has to be an ally? Fair enough. Go to these guys then.
The foe has sighted your hidden units.
Go ahead and get them to flank around. Melee infantry, go ahead and push forward. Go ahead and spread you guys out because you're not actually able to fire properly if they're not spread out. They get in each other's way. Memnon, let's make sure these guys are coming over to fight you. Ah, I didn't charge them in. That's not proper. Those clubmen are going to take a bit more damage than we want. That's a low threat, but there's a lot of lads over there, so let's bring you around to this side. They're already fighting someone else, so we should be able to charge in, no problem. Oh, they're already fleeing. What cowards.
Onward, sisters!
Looks like most of these warriors here in the front line are gone. You guys, what are you doing? Making me disappointed is what you're doing. Bring yourselves over. Clubmen charge through into these bows. Let's go ahead and get some nice slow-mo battle shots here. Some Achaean archers getting absolutely schmacked with some maces of death.
Victory
Yep.
is close enough to taste.
Indeed, that was the warriors of Artemis. Unmarried women, they vowed never to marry, and if they did, usually very, very bad things happened, or just got involved with men at all. She didn't take that well. Period. I think they had to have a vow of celibacy as well. Not the Amazons, but her actual retinue of the Hunters of Artemis.
Attack to victory. You're to be pitied. And them.
Now we just got an absolute Zerg ball of death. So all are indeed. Oh, the Sinai chariots need to move through. Although those are just skirmishers. Just smash into that group. Easy. Sitting there and doing nothing was a detriment to your health. Just run them down. What is bone and skin to chariots? Smash. Oh, that was pretty inept. They are just light chariots. They don't actually have a lot of mass. Let's pull them on through. Use them as actual bowmen, like they're supposed to be used for.
I shall not fall.
Now let's keep moving forward. One big Zerg ball.
Destined for immortality.
Send them to Osiris.
Arrows at the ready. And them. Weapons ready.
Bowmen move up and start dueling with those other bows then. Let's have the, well, chariots need to move around the side. They're kind of bogged down inside the city at this point, so stay here and use your bows. Yeah, our spearmen are a little bit overexposed here, and they're fighting against enemy shielded spearmen. We'll give them a bit more morale there. Hopefully they can fight in and give them a bit more killing edge they need. The Zerg ball continues to move.
For Egypt.
For Egypt.
Searing light of the dawn.
We're gonna make sure they don't have a way to run. And we're rolling them down the hill here. Chariots are starting to take some damage, so let's pull them away. The ladies of Artemis can start doing their damage. They're already broken.
Unflinching loyalty.
Keep going up the hill.
Battle home.
Very lucky. They're excellent at dueling. We're firing on those bowmen next. Only 2 of our warriors of Artemis have fallen. Let's push the chariots in. Where are my Magi? They have been left out of battle the entire time. And now is the time to bring them in, once the battle has been won. Yeah, we'll go ahead and let those things fly over here on these spearmen. Our archers can go ahead and set up here. And you start letting them fly on these Achaean slingers. Run them down. Oh yeah, our friend hooked up,
Your warriors are
friend in a
ready.
bad spot there. I don't know what you do if Zeus says time to hook up, you tell him no. It's a good way to get exploded randomly too.
Fight with valor.
So hard rock in a hard place there. Yeah, no, Artemis was not happy.
Destroyers of men. It is
I don't know if that was the story where she got turned into a unfortunate creature, because a lot of them did get turned into creatures when they did things that the gods disliked. There's no reason to charge in. Those are spearmen. You just sit there and shoot arrows at them. Okay, now you charge? Interesting. Oh, good. They managed to survive. Awesome. Well, we will go ahead and win this battle. We are inside the city, so there's no reason to continue it. Yeah, no, it was a tree. That's it. You got it. Oof. The finishing blow, Macarius. We'll send your head back to Sparta. Okay, so 500 stone. We definitely need to go ahead and raise and kill this one. Extra wood, extra stone. All is necessary.
My knowledge grows.
Apteron has been destroyed. It's some lovely art. Well, we're leaving nothing but smoking ruins in our wake here. We're about 2.5 hours in. What I'm going to go ahead and do is jump up, grab some water, and perhaps a snack or two. We got some lovely Oreo cookies in the other room. Not sponsored, but hey, if y'all want to, I wouldn't be opposed. Before we do go, though, for a brief moment, let's go ahead and pass out some skills. We've gone through almost all of his skill tree here. I'm not exactly sure what the max level is. I think it's 25 or 30 here on this game. But we're closing in. Go for the secondary point into superior weapons. The shielded infantry giving us more damage. 12% is quite a bit. We're probably going to have lots of Ethiopians, though, so we're going to have lots of two-handed infantry. Love extra charge bonus. Melee attack for all units. Melee attack to sword units. Charge bonus, two-handed charge bonus, and then just guys in the shielded variant. You can either boost your shields or your axes to an absolute incredible degree. And swordsmen can work for the shields as well. That's probably what we'll go for there. Our clubsmen have been doing amazing on the flank. We want to make sure our staunch front line is incredibly powerful. So let's go for the prayer to Ares, giving us more melee attack for all of our units there in the entire army of Memnon.
Glory is ours.
Got up to 79 bonus on these spearmen. Or 79 damage. 90 on these guys. 95 on the Idjit staff bearers. Pretty amazing. We're doing all the damage. These tribesmen even are doing 83. They're kind of like a flagellant style unit. Now we have to move on over to Sparta, meet the king, and continue our main epic quest.
Loyal and
So where would we make birth for the sea? Probably right here. Let's go into an encampment stance right over here.
Onwards, brothers.
Otherwise, yeah, we go out to sea there. Stand
March
here,
with
switch
me.
into our encampment stance.
We will stop here.
Do some building. Maxed out our heroes pavilion. There we go. Forward building all the way taken up to max, so now we can start really powering up the army very quickly. Ethiopian chief giving us more range and a missile and armor piercing both, so 20% more damage. Pharaoh's altar. It's not a cool 20%, but it feels like it, and that's a bigger number. Pharaoh's altar giving all of our Egyptian units more battle speed.
Victory.
All these are incredible. We don't have any Canaanites yet, so not super useful. These Eastern traders giving us a nice 15% drop to our upkeep cost. That sounds incredible too. We've got lots of nice buildings to get to. We just had to make sure we finished off our horde building first. But I'm going to go ahead and jump up, grab some water, run to the restroom, and I will be right back.
Pharaoh will be pleased. Ethiopia triumphs. Pharaoh's will be done. A courageous victory. Glory is ours. Ethiopia triumphs.
And we're back. Hope y'all had a great break. Oreos have been snagged. We're ready to go now. Cookies are all you need. Or a late night stream. Cookies and we got some water, which is a little bit boring, but otherwise we sound like we've playing the violin. I'm not trying to go for that.
Pharaoh will be pleased.
And thanks, Colin. Yeah, the be right back screen. The what I did is I found a pretty awesome artist over on Fiverr, and I got them to design me the guild. What the plan is for the channel is, as the channel grows, as we hit different milestones, probably the next one will be either 5 or 10,000. I'll get another one made where that guild is going to be grown larger, so it's going to keep growing, such as we're getting more viewers, we're having to build onto the guild. So that's kind of the vibe we're going for. And so basically I cut that out and just made a very rudimentary background and animated it real fast, and so that's where we've got our be right back screen. but thanks. I'm definitely glad you like it. Alright, where do we need next? I'd definitely like to get in the Keeper of Battle stories because we get scaling damage for each follower assigned to the army. So that would be all of these lads here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would give us 5% more both missile and melee damage, I believe.
Pharaoh's will be done.
Capped at 20%. It costs 6 though. Oh, it does for all of these. Very, very interesting. We may instead decide to save for the Eastern traders because any drop to upkeep, especially 15%, is going to be very, very useful to get sooner rather than later because it starts paying off way in dividends faster. Movement range. This actually only gives us more charge bonus and then more armor. Interesting. Raiding, raising, and then treasures looted after battle. The looting parties is the good one, or this is the distributor of spoils. We would probably take it only up to this tier until we need more. And we can get the different sacred stones to the gods that we really want. They don't cost much, they just have to have a 6 population, so I'll have to keep that in mind. Thank you. I think it's a good idea, as long as we can actually make it happen. And actually make the, I can find someone to make the guild look proper and actually get the upgrades looking how they should. I'm sure we can figure it out. Oh, hello there, Sparta. So we're not going to start a fight with Sparta just because we need to travel it over to this area first. I don't know if we necessarily don't need to be at war with them yet, but I can find out. We'll upgrade a Horde Army's main building. Give us 800 food and some stone. Nice. We might start a fight with Sparta though. Oh look, they've been very busy, haven't they? That all got resettled almost immediately. Wow. Lots of gold was spent. Hesperia owns this? Man, this was resettled fast. That's quite funny. Well, if we need to start a fight with Sparta, we can soon. What we'll do is come on up and do the quest then, so we can start our battle with Sparta when we want to. Get out into the sea. We'll have to take some attrition. We won't be able to do any kind of upgrading, but we'll keep saving and we'll be good to go.
Eos guides us.
Eos does guide us. We shall be finding all of the free booty. Move.
To the seas.
Fortunately, we will take some attrition down on the sea. How much is it? Oh, what's the damage?
Son of the dawn.
Is it gonna tell me? Hopefully, this is what the attrition's gonna be. Almost 0. We will soon see, though, won't we?
Memnon
We go to a march dance so we don't have to stay out here in the ocean. That'd be great. Less time taking attrition. Oh, we got out of it. Just a nasty little bit of whirlpool there. Deep seas with no indication. Such is the way, I guess. Onward to Sparta. Some really, really cool iconography. We gained ourselves a sailor. We are now comfortable at sea, getting us more movement range, allowing us to move around a little faster, although Poseidon is getting angrier and angrier. Farmers of the Troad have become unsettled, following a small quake that has struck the lands nearby Troy. Though this tremor did not inflict any significant damage, the priest warned that it was sent by Poseidon himself as an omen of his growing resentment. Clearly, the foul-tempered Olympian is preparing to inflict a devastating earthquake on the Trojan capital, with the intent of sending its mighty walls and proud battlements toppling to the ground. Okay, so Poseidon's causing all sorts of issues and about to start off the War of Troy, I bet. They will take that opportunity to pounce. We need to move, meet the Spartans,
The winds carry us.
and then start wreaking havoc. And we have now found Edis. Can we get here without being in march stance? That seems way safer. No, don't attack the city, just come up on the shores.
Coming into dock.
Welcome to Sparta. Although all of that was Sparta as well. Good grief, they resettled it fast. They have a faction ability where they can just go ahead and settle anything, any kind of ruins, no matter what. As long as they have the resources to do it, they just have to spend a certain amount of resources and it automatically resettles the building, or the ruin. Pretty interesting. King of Fools has been complete there. We did already read this description, so we'll go ahead and gain our reward of 2,000 experience to all our heroes. And now raise Sparta in the Lacedaemon province. For the hope of peace is past, and only strife remains, and thus diplomacy dies as swiftly as man. Our lay with King Menelaus has gone poorly. The crazed Lord of Sparta craves only blood and vengeance. Fine. If the fool will not heed your words, then let him heed the rallying cries of the servants of the divine ruler. With Menelaus' folly crushed under the boots of the Aethiops, the Aegean will once again know peace. And once we finish this mission here, we will have oaths unfulfilled. War rages on, and even though Sparta has fallen, the Achaean threat still stands. Also gain some Spartan gold. A grip of other resources, awesome. Alright, war to Sparta then.
Of noble heart.
Let's wait one turn to do so, though.
Set up camp.
Set up camp, yes please. Pharaoh's altar does sound nice. I think we want to grab the Ethiopian one, though. It gives us a bit more range and missile damage. Yes, please. The Ethiopian chief. Takes a turn, drains us of our resources. Melee defense of all units. Not just the Canaanite ones. This is how you unlock the other territory. I see. Yes, let's get to work then. We definitely need those guys in. All of the extra soldiers. Okay, we gained some more